Ujai, everybody. This is another episode of the Gate of Gates podcast. We're happy to be with you guys here for another episode. So before we get started, as you know, as we always do, we'd like to acknowledge the forces in the non-material, all the forces that be ancestors, deities, genies, entities, whatever it be. But we'd like to give a special acknowledgement to Master Nanaba Lamusa Mordenebig, who is the founder of the Earth Center. And we'd also like to acknowledge your ancestors, my ancestors, his ancestors, and all the ancestors who fought, died, and, are there waiting for their descendants to take charge. So without further ado, we're going to get into our topic today. Today we have a very special guest. A very, very special guest. So, my name is Kajiz Riemann Kebtah, and this is...
E28.
And our guest is...
Ezekiel.
So, Ezekiel, it's very good to have you on the show. Because, as you know, we had some prior discussions, and I said it would be good for you to share your story to the world, right? So,
Yeah.
I just want to ask you a question. How old are you?
I'm 21. I just turned 21, October 13th.
Young buck.
Yeah.
Pretty young, right? So, your story is very interesting because for somebody who's 21, you've lived a very full life, I would say. You've done things that seem to be very very, up there that most people in their 50s, 70s would dream of. So, really, can you tell us your story about what transpired on your journey, your spiritual path?
All right.
He said, all right.
It's like, well, you see.
Yeah. So, like he said, I'm Ezekiel. I was born and raised in Jamaica, Queens, New York. And basically, I'm going to just start off here. So, my mother, my father, they ended up splitting. My mother, she had her own beliefs. My father had his own beliefs. And me, I was with my mother when they split. So my mother, she was a person who was always interested into like the mysteries of society, like the society falling in America, and she was into like Babylon and like the church and the Bible. So she was into a lot of different things, and she exposed me to a lot of different things when I was young. I can remember things when I was like about 13, having conversations with my mother, talking about like, yeah, the chip is gonna come, Babylon's falling, mark of the beast.
The chip?
Yeah, you know, like in the Bible, so like it's the mark of the beast, and you get in your arm, and they said once you take that chip, then you basically get marked and stuff like that. They said that in the Bible.
So basically like religious conspiracy theories.
Yeah, basically conspiracy theories.
Make sure the mic's up close to you.
Yeah, so basically just conspiracy theories, and her exposing me to these things like at a very young age, it just opened my eyes to a lot of different things. She spoke about like the celebrities, like being in Illuminati, different things. She was a very like just thought about a lot of different things, and she always had this idea of seeing us go to like Guyana. That's where my family's from. So when she introduced this idea to me, like, yeah, we need to escape the system, we need to go into Guyana because the system's gonna fall, things like that. Money's no longer gonna be a thing, it's gonna be digital currency. She used to tell me this about like 13, 14, 15, all my younger years. So when she told me these things, like at first I wasn't really interested in doing it. I was really like, I was more in the system. I was more Americanized. Like I was still like, I just wanted to like stay where I was at. So then my sister, she's like 3 years younger than me. Right now she's 18. She just turned 18. I'm 21. And her and my mother, they used to like watch different spiritual videos. That's when after that phase of like conspiracy theories, they just went to more to like learning different things. First it was crystals, then it was astrology, and then it was just like being in nature and like doing certain things. I just saw them like sitting outside in nature some days, and I was just inside. I was playing video games. This was when I was like 16. I was just inside playing video games and things like that. So then this is where things get interesting. So now my sister, right, I told you she's 3 years younger than me. When I was I would say 17. She just turned 15, and she came across this video called "How to Escape Babylon." Now, this video, yeah, it was literally how
Wait,
to
hold on.
escape Babylon.
Hold on, it was like an instruction manual video.
It was an
It was like
instruction.
a step-by-step
Yes.
process of how to escape Babylon.
Yes.
Step 1.
Step 1, and it was by, as you guys may know, Nature Boy. So this is where things get very interesting. So the video was basically saying like, yeah, you gotta let go of all your attachments that you have in America. You gotta sell everything. You gotta eat organic foods. You gotta be around the people who's on your frequency. Let go of your family. This was things I was said like let go of your Babylon family, which was said your people that's no longer on your frequency, and step into people who's like on your frequency, family's frequency, different things like that. So just like let go of the people who was holding you back. Go off of faith. That was a thing that was said.
Go off of
quit
faith.
your job. Yeah, quit your job. Go off of faith. Quit your job. Live within your purpose, which was something that he told us was like, yeah, you go online, you teach what the dollars that he's putting out, and then you go online and you make videos, basically like every day, and that's now your purpose. So, doing that,
Sounds like a pyramid scheme to me.
You're right.
Make videos for me every day.
yeah, and you shout him out every day.
Shout
on
me out.
every video, you shout him out.
Don't forget to leave a
Yeah.
hashtag
Yeah,
and tag me.
literally, yeah.
And then make sure you give me 20%.
So now, as you guys know, the video was by Nature Boy. So,
Why you say his name so low?
because everyone knows. Like,
Don't come for
everyone
me,
has-
bro.
Yeah, everyone knows.
You know we're
most people
gonna
know
tag
something.
him in this, by the way.
He's in jail.
Oh, he's in jail?
Yeah.
Even better.
For real?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, for
kidding.
real?
I'm just
Yes,
fucking.
he's in jail right
What'd he go to
now.
jail
How
for?
long?
I don't know. He still hasn't gotten the full trial.
Wow.
Why is he in jail? What happened?
Look it up.
You could tell me.
He's in jail right now because for a rape charge.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. That
Okay.
went dark very
Yeah.
fast.
That's why I'm saying the name. I'm saying in a very low tone because.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right, so boom. Like I said, my sister, she came across the videos about Nature Boy, How to Escape Babylon. And in this moment in time, like things was getting shaky in my life. Like I was about like I think I was turning 17, and this was a time where I wasn't really like this was a time where I didn't have much friends at that time. Like I used to have a lot more friends. I kept moving from place to place. Like I used to live in New York, then we moved to North Carolina, and in North Carolina, that's when all that stuff started happening by like introducing us to different knowledge, Nature Boy, things like that. So then my sister, she showed me the video, and when I first saw it, I was like I started to like resonate. Like I'm gonna be real, like I'm gonna speak from my past self. Like I'm gonna speak from where I was at. Like I was resonating. I was like, yo, word. Like I see they in the jungle. I'm seeing like eating organic foods. I'm like, word. Like I'm trying to be out there too. Like I'm starting to see. I've seen a group of black people, melanated people coming together. I'm like, oh, word. Like yeah. Like I'm starting to see it. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is what we're gonna do. So then, like we ended up. The process was like you make an Instagram, and then you make your name. It was at the time it was my name was Immortal.Ezekiel.
Wait, you said the process. So
Yeah,
this
the
is
process.
part of escaping Babylon.
Yeah.
Like escaping Babylon 101. Make
Yeah.
an Instagram and then you have to put Immortal
Yeah.
as part of your name.
Yeah, and put him in your bio, shout him out on every video. Basically, like the logic was like you make videos, you add on to the frequency, and the frequency feeds
His
you.
frequency.
Yeah, his frequency, and the frequency will like
Feed you.
and let you get to the places that you want to be. So that was the logic. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I had my Instagram. My sister had the Instagram. My mother had the Instagram. So the first people who was
Your
like,
mom was involved?
yes.
Dang.
Yeah, she was in it.
The story is very interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's
it's a
let me
very
get to the meat.
yeah.
Wait, who got to it first? You or your
My
mom?
sister.
Your sister first.
She was the first, and then she told my mom, and
And she
then
told your mom.
my sister told me. I was the
Mhm.
last one because I was like more like I was kind of like society. Like I like clothes. I like certain things.
Yeah.
I like technology. I was all in the video game world. Like I was playing games like every day, all
Mhm.
night.
What was
know.
your game?
I used to play 2K a lot.
2K. Okay.
I used to play this game on my iPad called Critical Apps. I literally had the iPad on this, and I'm just calling. I'm on the headphones on, talking to a whole bunch of people all over the world.
Sure,
Just,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then, in your mom, like, what's her background? Where was she religious before? Were her
she
parents
was
religious?
Yeah, she was religious. She was Hebrew Israelite.
Hebrew
She
Israelite.
was. She's.
That's how you got
Guyanese.
the name Ezekiel.
Yeah, from the Bible. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So she was religious. She was just like whatever, like it was just a lot of different things out there. She was just like, like whatever, like
Basically, like
free, this open-minded person.
Sure,
it's normal.
Yeah.
Most people who are religious, like when they start to leave religion, they don't really know what to like go to anymore because there's nothing like sustaining them. Like there's no stability, so they
Yeah.
kind of just grab at every single thing that they can find, everything that they can see.
Yeah.
That sounds like that's what happened to your mom.
Basically.
So, with that being said, what was your childhood like with a mom like that?
My childhood, to be honest, it was like when I was really young, before like I was 16, like before when I was like probably like 13, 12, 10, all those years, like I was very much restricted. Like I couldn't really go outside. Like I wanted to like play outside for my friends, but I only got to go outside for a certain period of time when the sun goes down. If my grades were bad, like I had to go back inside. Because this was when I was in school, when I was in North Carolina, like I was very advanced, especially in math. I was very advanced. And when I was in 6th grade, I was doing work that was in 9th grade. I was way ahead of my class. They had to put me into like a small classroom with a couple of people to do those things. And my mom, she was very hard on me with it because she really wanted me to like succeed in school and stuff like that. But
This was before she became anti-system.
yeah, this was before. Yeah. So when that happened, like I was restricted, but she definitely cared for me. Like she definitely like put me in positions where like I could thrive, and eventually we moved to New York. And this was during the spiritual journey. Like we moved back to New York. So let me backtrack now. So childhood. Like I said, I was advanced in my schooling, and when I didn't get good grades, I would be in home. So after a while, like my sister, my mother, they just her being a very open-minded person, she just exposed me to a lot of things when I was very young. And it just made me like just have an open mind at a very young age. Like she used to introduce me to like entrepreneurship. She also like tried to tell me like be an entrepreneur, because she was an entrepreneur. She only did hair, and she used to make a living just doing hair for a very long time, for 20 years, and she was very successful at it. So she would always like put that in my mind to be an entrepreneur, to think for yourself, to go for financial freedom and things like that. So back to the roadmap of like the journey of how everything played out. So like I said, they showed me the videos of Nature Boy and his people was outside the jungle eating fruits with a lot of different people, a lot of different women.
That's what captivated your attention the
The
most.
woman,
The women.
yes.
He was like,
Yeah, the natural
I think I
woman.
likes me one of them.
Yeah, yeah. So, another step was you had to remove all your weave. You can't eat no unnatural foods. You had to remove your weave. You had to let your hair go naturally. This is when I had freeform locks. You saw me when I had freeform locks. That's where it started. Was from that whole journey of the Nature Boy journey of So it started with freeform locks. That was the time where I was able to like Like that's when all the restrictions that I had as a child would start to be released, like during this time period. And then I dropped out of school.
And your mother was okay with this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
It's
what I
interesting. It's like the difference. It's like she was very strict here, and then all of a sudden, she has some kind of awakening that the system is the system, and then, poof,
yeah.
no more strict in school, no more school after that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Literally.
So it's basically just
yeah.
whatever. Everything was given at that point. Everything was free range.
I'm just looking up Nature Boy right now.
You never knew about him, did you?
No, I never knew about him. But he wears like a Native American like headdress.
He's confused,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
He's confused.
Interesting.
He's very, very confused. It's, again, one of those things where people just take bits and pieces from all over the world and they just put it together in their own weird kind of amalgamation system of spirituality.
Where was he, like, where did he reside? Like, where was he, like, all these photos I'm seeing in the jungle, like, where is this?
It's in many different places.
Many different places. Oh, he wasn't in just one spot.
No, because he kept getting kicked out of like different countries, and
He kept getting kicked out of different countries for what? How did he even get on like the government watch list?
because I don't remember exactly the other reasons why, but it's online. But the reason when I was there, which is farther into the story, is
Where were you, though?
I was in Hawaii with them.
You were in, so you didn't go to Costa Rica? Because I know
I went to Costa Rica by myself. I didn't go with them though.
So when you first did the Escape Babylon 101 with your mom and your sister, you guys didn't go meet him in Costa Rica?
Nah, we went to Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then this is when we went to Hawaii. So now when we get to Hawaii,
And who was his master? Or was he the master?
he was the master.
And where does he proclaim that he received the knowledge that he professes is like the way
from nature.
from nature,
Yeah.
which is what?
He said, what did he say? He said nature is God. And he said he's God.
So
And then he said everything is God. And that the information comes from the DNA within the genetic code. That's what he said. And he said to unlock it, you have to cleanse your body, eat healthy, eat organic foods, remove GMO foods. And that's what he said the knowledge came from.
Okay, continue.
It's like, this is...
I'm just looking at these photos right here.
So look, listen.
Fan.
Listen. So
Would you have joined him, Tuti?
I don't know. It doesn't look like they accept my
they had
flavor
white
of
people
cappuccino.
too.
They had white people there?
Yes.
You lying.
Yes,
For
they
real?
did. Yes, they did.
So white people joined his thing.
Yeah.
But I thought it was
after
like a
while-
melanated people only, like
but
melanin.
He was teaching that like all people are melanated.
Mm.
Just had different hues.
Okay.
He had that right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
now
I'm feeling better about this situation. I'm feeling a little
I
better.
see why you say that.
Anyways, go on. Ezekiel.
so boom. Then we made the Instagram and stuff like that. So then like out of nowhere, like he followed like me and my sister. And at the time, like we was just like very like infatuated. I could say like very like, oh my God, like he reached out. Like Baba, that was his name, was Baba G at the moment. It
I
was,
thought his name was Kalego the Christ.
his name was Eligio, his name was Baba G, his name was Nature Boy, his name was Three Guys. It's a whole time changing the names.
Wow.
But look, so
This guy's bipolar.
we got to Hawaii. Basically, it was a process first. First, he reached out to us. He saw us making videos. We were shouting him out on every video. He was shouting him out. It was like,
I see a white boy. Okay,
like,
this guy.
It was like, shout out to the Most High Chief Baba G in every video. And we do like this.
So you had to call him Chief.
Yes,
Chief of what?
Chief of the Earth.
Chief Keef. He was chiefing on something.
Chief of the Earth.
He was.
Yo.
Please continue.
Boom.
This is let me just say this real quick.
I'm
This
glad
is
we're here.
very dangerous. This is so dangerous because You know what? Just continue.
You gotta
so
give some
boom.
context later, son.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it all.
Please.
So then we get the message from him, and he reached out. He just said, "I see y'all doing your thing, whoop de whoop." Then this was the time when we was like trying to still escape Babylon. So then we reached out like, "Yo, like we trying to go where you at?" And he was in Hawaii at the time, and he basically gave us a process. He said, "You gotta pass this test." The test was based on the knowledge that he had like put together from different areas like quantum physics, astrology, biology, melanin, and grounding.
So, did you guys receive test materials to study from?
Just the videos was the test materials. Like
Just his videos.
Nah, not just. He had like people in his tribe, and they would like go on a whiteboard. They would like teach. He would teach them, and then they would teach like classes on like quantum physics. They'll have a whole class, an hour-long class, and I'll sit there and I'll watch all of them. I'll take notes. I was very like in this shit.
So can you create a quantum computer right now?
Not a quantum computer.
So what were they teaching in quantum physics?
So basically, they was teaching that the basic building blocks of life is like that atom, and the atom is composed. Yeah, atom. He also said that too. Atom, and he said that the observer's effect. He was basically saying like the observer. You know about the observer's effect, like how you observe something and that particle changes from a wave to a particle based on you observing something. You would say like, all right, when you observe something, that thing basically exists because of your observation, and when you don't observe it, it only exists as a potential reality. And he's basically saying that, like through he's literally saying that like you're God because things won't exist unless you observe it. You're the creator of your reality.
So hold on. So if I don't observe the people in China, they don't exist.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He said everybody is one, and everything else is an illusion. Everything around you is an illusion, and everything separated from you is an illusion.
Who is Kayla Reed?
Kayla Reed? I don't know.
Do you know that person?
Nah, I ain't never heard of that person.
Yo, you're really here researching.
Well, yeah, now I am.
Who's Kayla Reed?
Well, I was surprised by this topic, but now I'm looking more into it. Evidently, Kayla Reed is a Canadian who was... There was like a missing persons report, and evidently she was in the some of the Nature Boy videos, and there are a bunch of research... there's a bunch of articles like, she's coming home, she's going to be safe. She was on these videos, and she's all right. She's not missing. So it's very interesting.
I don't know that lady.
Okay.
How long ago was this?
2017.
And she still ain't home?
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
Hopefully.
Well, okay.
Send all the prayers to her.
But-
Facts.
So back to this quantum physics idea. So let's say I'm in my car and I'm driving, right? Now, I'm not paying attention to Ibtahuti and Ibtahuti's life per se. Not to say I don't care about Ibtahuti, but in that moment, I'm driving, I'm doing my work. I'm not necessarily or particularly observing Ibtahuti. Does that mean Ibtahuti does not exist? Does that mean he's an illusion?
Based on what he said, he says that Ibtahuti is just a potential like reality that exists within your mind. And when you decide to observe him as an actual thing, that's when he becomes concrete reality. And that it's that way. Everything. And he said that life is a holographic universe. And that
it's an evil world we live in.
yeah. But honestly, like as I like grown a little bit more in my life, as I aged a little bit more, like I seen like how that became a poison in my mind. Like it was at times where like I didn't really treat people as people, like I didn't really care at all, because everyone is an illusion in my mind. I was God, so I didn't care. I let people. I just left. I left my ex at the time. I left her, and I didn't care because I was God. I didn't care I
was
left
a
my
mentality.
family. I didn't care because I was God. I didn't care about nobody because I was God. I'm saying, and no one else existed. And now, as life become more real, I'm like, damn, like the shit that I did still exists. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really get erased. Like, it's like I wasn't treating people as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like nothing didn't really matter to me. Like how people, like anything, like put the people through crisis through based on things that I wanted to go through, based on my own process and my own journey. I didn't really care about nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I see how that's a poison. Just having that belief that like everyone really is an illusion, and you don't really live life like you just live life like you floating every single day. That's how it felt like. It was just like nothing was concrete, nothing really mattered. So everyone is illusion, you know. But back into the story. So we end up getting a test about astrology, biology, quantum physics, melanin, and grounding. Me being the person that I am, I really study. So even to the point now, if you ask me certain questions about these things, I'll tell you about what I learned. But obviously, as you guys see, like I'm in a different place right now. I'm learning different materials, so I'm not really like living on those principles, but I know them. So we basically got a test, and I got a 95 or 4. My sister, she got 98. Like she excelled in it because she was the first person who got into it, so she was very like passionate about it. Then I became passionate about it, and then eventually, like my mother, she was like iffy outy, but me and my sister, like we were just like pushing it. Then my mother, she also ended up taking the test, so she got like an 80 something, and when we first, like after we passed the test, then he gave us instructions. He's like, all right, now you guys gotta sell everything and bring everything to the pot, basically.
The pot?
tribe pot, yeah.
The tribe pot.
Tribe pot.
Like everything.
All
like
the
literally
money.
everything. Like
Sell
everything you
everything.
sold, all your money, all your possessions, it puts in a pot
Yeah,
for the tribe.
yeah,
And then you smoke it.
yeah, and yeah. We sold
Basically, right?
everything.
Basically, you smoke it.
Basically, because
So you guys took all that money and bought drugs.
Do you have to?
We couldn't smoke there. We couldn't smoke.
Is it requisite for you not to wear a shirt? Because all the pictures I see, no one's wearing shirts.
You could now.
Or is that just
I was only there for 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was only there for 3 days.
3 days. That's
what,
it.
What about? I thought you said people there were like naked.
There was a houses at Airbnb. People was like just walking around naked. Like the only time it would be naked, I never seen it, but if you be naked, you just usually outside. But usually, the like clothing that he says to wear is just like wraps and like free clothes and things that's not really restricted on your body. So you see a lot of women with like wraps. You see a lot of men with like, you know, those like
Lapos.
yeah, those things. Yeah, and then they'll have on like this regular. This is like kind of tribal clothing, like try to be look
Or
like
their perception
native.
of tribal
Yeah,
clothing.
So why-
exactly.
Why were you only there for 3 days?
So now this is where we jumping into the story.
Hold on, before
Yeah, I
that,
feel like I'm skipping.
I really want to
No,
know
you good.
what really was it that truly led to this kind of thinking. Like what was the emotions behind this decision to take everything, sell all your possessions, and then to move out into this unknown jungle with this unknown guy who's basically telling you how he's going to start to dictate your life? Like, what was really the thought process behind
The
it?
emotion was I wanted to become powerful. I wanted to obtain power. I wanted to obtain spiritual power. I wanted to become more knowledgeable. I was very insecure at that time, and I saw that this person was telling me, love yourself, telling me that you can love your male, you can accept yourself, you can let your free forms go, you can be yourself authentically, you can love yourself. And that was the things that really, like, it drew an emotional charge at me because I was in a low place in my life. Like, I was just on video games. I wasn't dealing with women at that time. I was still a virgin at the time. I was still young. So, like, someone's, like, older than me that's, like, putting all this, like, instilling certain things in me. Like literally yell on the camera like, "You are God, I'm God, like we're God."
So, was your father in your life at all?
So that's a big reason why all of this happened.
So you think you were looking for that father figure, maybe?
Yes, because even through all of that, like it felt as if like he was like another father to me that I didn't have, and that's another thing that drew like me in emotionally, which is why like even now, like I know shit is rough. I'm not supposed to, like, it gets crazy as hell, but still a part of me, like nigga reached a deep part of me that still even touches my emotional channel now. Still, if niggas will call me up right now, it will touch a certain emotional channel within me, and I'm being so serious. And that's why like this shit is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because he really touched a deep part of me. You feel me? Like my father was not there, but this guy who was there in the times where I was in my lowest state. You know what I'm saying? Like the journey was crazy. Like niggas wilding outside and stuff like that. It was a part of my journey, and me going through that, like it allowed me to like really just accept myself, even though it was in a fucked up way. Like that, all that shit I went through, I did accept different parts of myself, but even now, I'm still, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still nervous to come out of podcast, stuff like that. I'm still not perfect, but I'm here to move on from that part of my life, and that's the main reason why I'm on this podcast right now. I'm trying to speak from what I went through, what I was going through, my mindset, and I'm just trying to move on from my life, because like going through all of that, like put me in a position where like I didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? But let's go into the story some more. So we passed the test, and he had two of his people come to us to pick up the money. Actually, yeah, they came to pick up the money that we had sold cash. His name was Musa. Yeah, Musa. And,
Like Mansa Musa.
Yeah, Mensa Musa. And also another thing was he had to change his name. Now I just remember. So his name was Musa, and the other guy's name was, I forgot his name, but
Did you get a new name?
I changed my name to Zay first, and then Osiris.
Osiris.
Your name was Osiris.
I changed my name to Osiris.
It's blasphemy.
I changed my name to Osiris. I changed my name to Osiris. I want to be a god, so my name was Osiris. You know what I'm saying? So back is the story. So now they came, they picked up the money. They was here for like a couple hours, and then they left. So then we ended up getting
He
tickets.
cannot hold back his laughter.
Let it out, bro. Let it out.
The spies.
Let it out.
Can you guys hear me? The spies at Temple of Anu watching this are like, why not?
Yeah.
They're like, why not?
Yeah.
We are gods.
This guy.
Yeah. So boom. Now we get a ticket. Now we're going to Hawaii, right? We get to Hawaii, and there was basically two Airbnbs. It was at the time it was probably like almost 30 people in the tribe, so it was like split between two people. Nation Boy, he wasn't in the temple.
I think that goes against the Airbnb guidelines.
I know.
You know.
I know.
Wait, they were renting an Airbnb, or was theirs?
It was renting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing whatever, bro, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was me, my sister, and my mother. Yeah, me, my sister, and my mother. We all went. So my mother ended up coming because we started convincing her. We started like, now it started getting to our head. We started saying whatever we want to our mother. Like it was just like me, especially. I was really lighting a fire under my mother, which I wish I didn't like do it in such a way. But I was very just like, get all your shit, like really study, like. I was just like pushing her, like, yeah. So we ended up getting to Hawaii, and when we get there, a guy named Tron. I just don't know Tron. Tron, he also left too, but his name was Tron, and he was the first person who greeted us. And basically, the first like thing that happens is that you basically get your bags checked, because people came into the camp with like burnt ashes and weird shit that people came in. So they check our bags, and anything unnatural, they say you gotta leave it.
Burnt ashes of what?
Of like their grandmother or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's what they told us.
What the hell were they gonna do with it?
I don't know. That was just random people on
Were they
Instagram
about the
coming.
cremation stuff? Is that cremation? Is that a part of
No,
it?
someone like who was trying to join the place. They came
Okay.
with burnt ashes, and they saw that, and then after that, they started checking people's bags to see what they bring in.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically, they had to throw away like anything we had unnatural. Like I think we had petroleum jelly. We had to throw it away before we come in. Anything that had like too much ingredients, you had to throw it away. Any unnatural things, you had to throw it away before you go into the place.
So it's a place about escaping Babylon,
Yeah.
but they rent Airbnbs
Yeah.
and they obviously have passports because they get plane tickets
Yeah.
to go to other countries once they get kicked out.
Yeah.
And they ask you to bring all your money.
Yeah. To fund keeping going to Airbnb. To be
The
honest, it's
Airbnbs.
just going to Airbnbs and
But-
buying
Shit
food.
is expensive.
This is,
Yeah.
but so you have to pay the system still to escape the system
Yeah.
in Babylon.
My question is, were you guys like growing food? Did you have animals?
No.
You were buying food.
And this is where it's gonna go into a whole different segment of
Okay.
why I started to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you
Which
get
is
to
why he's
Hawaii.
really
I want to let's not veer off the story though, because
Yeah.
and then we can go into questions.
Yeah.
You just got there.
I just got
They
there.
checked your bags.
Checked the bags. So now we did. So the first person I saw was Tron. Then we came in. We walk in.
This was at the airport. You saw Tron.
No, this was at the Airbnb. We already passed the airport.
Did you? Oh,
Who
did you
picked
meet
you
them?
up?
Yeah. Did you meet them at the airport?
Who picked this up again? I think. Oh yeah, we did get picked up. It was. His name started with a T. I don't remember.
Was
but
he wearing a shirt?
He was wearing a shirt. Yes, yes. They picked us up. They was wearing a shirt.
Okay.
But yeah, they picked us up in the at the airport, and they drove us like through the jungle. This is the first time I've been in like a tropical place. I just remember being like a whole bunch of trees. You just got the windows open. You just hear a whole bunch of like nature sound, just like chirp chirp. Chirp.
Where in Hawaii were you?
We was in I forgot the name, but it was.
Was it
like,
Main Island or?
It was
Smaller island?
Smaller island. It wasn't the
Okay.
main island though. It was more deep. It was like a. When
There's
we got
no
to
way
the
they could
airport-
do what they were doing on the main island.
Nah.
Yeah.
So boom.
For sure.
So boom, this is what happened, right? So we getting drove there, stuff like that, and then we got to the place. Like I said, we saw Tron. He had removed the things that we had was unnatural, like we had petroleum jelly and stuff like that. And then I just remember seeing like this big ass like, cause we in Hawaii, so I just remember seeing this like big ass like cockroach, like one of them big flying shits, like run across the wall, like outside of the Airbnb. But then when we get in the Airbnb, I see like a lot of different people that I've seen online and stuff like that. And of course, I was just young, so I wasn't really saying much. I just greeting everybody. The energy was like, it was calm. It was alright. Nature Boy, he wasn't there. I just remember like a couple of the guys, they were sitting there, and then Nature Boy's videos on the TV, and they were just sitting there like watching the videos and stuff like that. So when we got in, the place was pretty clean. Then they assigned us like roles the next. I don't know. We went to sleep, and then we was all sleeping on the floor in the Airbnb, and they said like the logic between us like sleep on the floor, ground to the earth, connect, and clear your like dis-ease within the body. So just like
Well,
sleep
that's
on
not all
floor.
the way wrong.
Yeah, I'll still sleep on the floor right now, but not based on like, you know. Yeah, I just been sleeping on the floor, like, you know what I'm saying, like grounding, like, you feel me? But we was all sleeping on the floor. So next day we woke up, and they assigned us to like, they had like a hierarchy, like, so they had like Team A, Team B, Team C, and Team A was obviously like Nature Boy. Then he had like a couple leaders up there. Then Team B was like, they was like handling different like officer things, and then Team C was just like clean up the house basically. So it was Team C. It was like we had to like, like refill water. We had to like clean up and things like that. And it was just like in my mind, like even my family was just like, man, we just sitting here just cleaning up the place, like saying like he wasn't feeling good about that. Then that day, that's when he came in. So they was like, yeah, like they was telling everyone like Nature Boy's about to come in, right? So then when he came in,
Did you guys all have to get in a line?
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean get in line?
So
Get in line.
So right, this is the door.
Uh-huh.
He coming in. Boom, 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 boom. He stepped hard as shit too. Boom, 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 boom. And then you just see all the niggas just standing.
Like as he's walking in, like
like they already
like
knew
this?
they're standing straight like on some military shit. Like they knew it was coming in, so they was already getting ready. Standing.
This guy.
Then I'm on this side. And then they had to stand like this. Everyone standing like
one
this.
hand in the back.
One hand in the back, one hand just like this.
It's good posture.
Everyone standing like that. Boom.
The women too?
The woman too. Everybody. And him and his daughter came.
I saw a video of this Nature Boy guy. He had like 5 women sitting down.
I know what you're talking
and
about.
And then he told the one in the middle to get up and slap the other one. He said, yo, slap her. And she did it, bro.
What?
She really did it. Yo.
Where? Can you send me that video?
I'm going to find it and send it to you.
Yeah.
But this is kind of crazy, bro. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah. He said, yo, slap her. She just got up. She got up like this. Walked over. And then sat right back down.
And what did the woman who got slapped, what did she do?
Just get slapped.
She didn't say anything.
No, she just got slapped.
Bro, everyone there, you can't question what he says when you're there. He basically like positioned himself in a way where everyone's dependent on him, so you can't really question him. It's his way. He's God.
Do people get beat?
But you're God too.
Yeah.
Wait.
But you're God too, though. So
get beat.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, it was my God.
So
he was my God. I was
the
God.
logic? So he's your God, but you're God at the same time.
Yeah, he's
but
basically
he's your God.
the God that the messenger of God to teach people that they're God, and then he's like the higher self. That's what he said. He posts himself as the Most High, the higher self that.
So
teaches all the
he's the
cells.
Most High God, and you're just a smaller God.
Basically.
But he's the Most High God sent by the Most High God to teach you that you're the smaller God.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So now
that's the logic.
So now we all standing there, and him and his daughter, she's like 2 or 3. She walked by, and he tells everyone, bow for Eliana. So everyone, even myself.
he said that with pain.
We bow.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just greets everybody, and then he greets me, my sister, and my mother personally. When I first saw him, I thought I was expecting like this like huge energy. He was just like a regular person, just like regular person. He was like kind of big, husky, and he just greeted us. Like he has this way of like position himself and like carrying some energy where like you feel like this person cares for you. You feel like he a father. He carries that type of energy, and he does it in a way where like he doesn't really give a fuck, but he like puts on the energy like gives a fuck. So after that, we just we're all there, and people just talking and stuff like that. We were just talking, and I just remember the men was like going over like their chart and their aspects and stuff like that. And fast forward. So basically, the next day they get all arrested. So
Day 2.
Next day.
Day 2.
The very next day.
Next day, we went to sleep one day.
Was it a raid?
The next day we was talking. The third day, everyone got arrested. Nature Boy and like 10 other people. A lot of them got arrested.
Was it a raid?
They didn't raid us. They already got arrested outside of the
But they got
house.
arrested outside.
Yeah, because Hawaii was in quarantine at the time, and they like recorded themselves like being in the river and stuff. So they got arrested
for being in the river.
Because it was COVID at the time. This was also the time where everyone felt like the world was gonna end. So keep that in mind too. Like everyone thought the world was gonna end. We thought the world was gonna end, and this person positioned himself as the savior, as the God at that time.
What kind of restrictions were there in Hawaii at the time?
You couldn't even.
It was like lockdown.
It was lockdown.
Police
like,
patrolling.
Yeah, like police was outside. You couldn't go to couldn't go to the store without a mask. You couldn't like be in like the rivers and stuff like that. You couldn't do none of that.
In the rivers.
Yeah, none of that. So they went there and they put themselves online, and then they found him, and then they took him and they arrested him.
Well, they didn't know he was God, right?
They didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, because you wouldn't ask God,
Yes.
obviously.
And how long? So this was about 2021 or
Probably
2020.
I'm 21 now, so I was there when I was 17
Damn.
or 18. I don't remember, but that's not that long ago. It was like probably like 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
So it's still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want you to get to the meat of the story.
so the meat of the story is they got arrested. Boom.
Boom.
Now this is when shit get a little weird.
This is when
They got arrested,
Right.
and they had to use a lot of money that was in the pot to bail them out. So when they bailed him out, we didn't have that much money in the house. It was me, my sister, my mother, and this girl named Sheba and her daughter. So Sheba, first of all, she was looking skinny as fuck. She was looking malnourished as shit. She was looking stressed out. Like even before that, she was looking like she wasn't really eating properly. And when we was there, bro, we was eating like rice and like beans. It was this little portion. Nigga was hungry. I just remember be hungry as fuck. I remember my sister be hungry. My mother
be taking all their money.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a lot of us, and we was not really eating. When they got arrested, and when they had to put a lot of money towards bail, we didn't have much money, so we was really hungry. Like I remember me being hungry. That lady, she was looking stressed out, and that's when things started getting a little hectic. So they basically told us throughout all of that we all had to leave. Like me, my sister, my mother, they said like, yeah, you guys gotta go. We'll keep in contact with you and we'll try to link up later. So they took us to California, and my mother, she sent all the money to them, but she saved like a couple $1,000 in her bank account. So we was able to get a hotel
His mom?
in California. My mom.
Yeah, I mean, mom's. Shout out to mom.
Yeah, mom's a trooper.
Trooper.
So she had money saved, and she got us a hotel in California. So
you guys were out.
yeah, we was out,
Man.
because there was like, we knew they don't want us
Shit
to
was gonna
be
get
in all that
crazy.
shit. Yeah, but they never sent us back. We sent $7,000 over there. 7,000.
I'm invested in a docuseries.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
right.
I feel like there needs to be a docuseries because everyone loves when a cult gets exposed or some shit goes wrong. Have you ever seen Osho? You know Osho? You know that
Yeah.
one? He's like, at the end of it, you know Osho? He was like a spiritual leader from India, and he had like a cult in like the Midwest, and they had like a village there and everything.
You talking about the people who kill all themselves?
No.
No, that's in Guyana.
That's in Guyana. No, it was in America, and they had a name for the village or whatever, the town, and they started to do shady stuff. Like they started to like try to manipulate the elections. They would go to like the salad bars in the buffets, and they were putting in like some stuff in the salad bars and like poison or something so people wouldn't vote. So they were starting to do some stuff like that. Anyways, the funniest part though is at the end of it all, Osho is like, there was like a lady who was basically like Osho's assistant. Osho was the spiritual leader, and his assistant basically exposed him. And then he's on some show or something, and he's like a spiritual leader, you know, and he's like usually very like put together, but then you see him on air like crack, and he's kind of like, that bitch is crazy. It was just can you imagine, this guy has like a beard, he's like very like spiritual looking, and he's like, that bitch was on pills.
He said he was on crack.
He was on something. He was getting fed some stuff. Like he was, it was. But anyways, I'm invested.
So
Keep going.
Okay.
So with this story, right, and I just want to say that it really brings up a very interesting point, and the point being that spirituality is something that's very fragile, and it's very fragile because there's a thin line between what's actually spiritual and like religion. Like when you think about religion, you think about mainly like Christianity or Islam or even sometimes Buddhism, Hinduism, all of those things are like institutions. But those things have like a foundation. You can go to a church, you can go to a mosque, whatever. There's like a foundation. Go to maybe a Buddhist temple, whatever. There's like a foundation for those things. Now, religion is interesting in the sense that it actually takes from real spiritual principles. Now, spirituality is different in the sense that spirituality is about reality. Spirituality is about principles, and spirituality is about fitting into nature. Spirituality is about fitting into the realities at hand and making sure that you are not an obstacle to that becoming of the reality. But religion is different because religion can be anything. Anything that can become a practice or anything that can be taken in place of spirituality is now religion. So we can kind of see that your situation is one of those interesting situations because whether you knew it or not, you and your mother, your sister, you were looking for some kind of spiritual enlightenment. You were looking for a place or a way for you guys to grow and a place or a way for you guys to get back to nature, which you ended up didn't really doing. So essentially what you did was you fell into a trap of another religion. So that's the danger of it. Like, things can look spiritual but then be very religious. And that's so dangerous because it's fragile. And this is exactly why if you don't know where somebody's coming from, if you don't know the master, if you don't know the teacher, if you don't know the traditions, if you don't know the people of where something is coming from, you're liable to fall into traps like this. Because essentially, like, this person just kind of like, you know, used everybody. Like, he's literally living off of people. He's telling you that we're trying to escape the system. We're escaping the matrix. We're fighting against Babylon.
Never bought land.
Never bought land.
Never grew food. Never created nothing sustainable.
Thank you.
Just about, like, just coming together and just basically, like, on
no elders.
No elders. Elders people older than him, but there was, like,
but they're not the God.
Subordinates. Yeah,
they're not God.
And what are they standing on?
Standing on him. That's the principle. Is him. He's
Which
the
proves,
principle.
even again, like, God, even that word can be taken, like, so far. Because how can, it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm God, he's God, but then this guy is supposed to be the bigger God, right? So the small gods are worshiping the bigger God, and then he's sent by an even bigger God to teach the smaller gods that they're gods. Like, isn't God an omnipotent being? Isn't God an all-knowing being, a being that can be in everywhere, all places, all at once? So then how does that make sense?
And essentially, that was the whole trap of, like, the fall of everything, too, because it became much so of an ego trip, much so of just, like, becoming, like, you know, just big-headed, and eventually that led to, like, a huge fall. But
so wait, you were in California.
Yeah, so now we're in California. We in a hotel.
Sent $7,000.
$7,000 down. The whole teacher was just like, don't really be attached to anything. Like, if anything happens, everything's happening for you. The universe is always working for you, never against you. So if you lose money, is what it is. You're gonna find
that was part of his teaching.
Yeah, the teaching was like, the energy always transforms and never dies. So if money's a form of energy, so you lose energy, it's gonna come back in a different form. Which again, it did.
That right there, that's still, you could obviously see the manipulation.
Yeah, it was definitely manipulation at the same time, because that whole foundational, because I was never in an unstable, like, very unstable place until after all of that happened. Like, we used to just live like a regular middle class life, you know, like, this shit was calm. I was playing video. I wasn't much in, like, a state of, like, stagnation in my life, I would say that. But
did you sell all your video games?
I sold my Xbox One.
Bruh.
That must have hurt, didn't it?
Bruh.
It did, but I didn't care anymore. I was just so infatuated by the knowledge. I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to activate my melanin.
So you were just seeking. Like,
yeah, I was just very much seeking, and that was always my intention. And which is why, like, sometimes like when I say my story up front, like, I'm like, yeah, I've been to Nature Boy and stuff. People are like, what was going through your mind? Did you see all this stuff? When at that time, there wasn't much drama going on. There wasn't much shit going on. It was just like,
nah, bro, there's always been drama going on.
But we didn't see it.
He's in Hawaii. He was in Costa Rica before that, and somewhere else. Many places in Costa Rica, and then other places all over the place.
Yeah.
He has so much internet beef. He had so much issues with law enforcement all over the world. I think he even had issues with law enforcement in the States, and that's why he actually went away outside of the States.
Yeah.
Aqua Ayol said she can't hear you very well, Ezekiel, so just make sure your mic is.
So, boom. Now, we're in California. All the money is gone, basically. We only have like a couple $1,000s. We get a hotel, and now we're trying to figure out what's the next plan. So our first mind, like, oh, yeah, we're going to go back. So we talked to him, and he's basically saying that only me and my sister could go back, not my mother. Mind you, I was not 18 yet, and my sister, she was 15. That's when shit got weird. That's when we were like,
It's getting queer.
that's when we were like, nah. That's when we were just like, nah, we're not going back. So then we went to Jersey, and this is where everything started changing. This is when I wanted to start my own tribe. When we went to Jersey, we was there. My mother's friend, she let us stay there, and we was there for like almost a year.
Where in Jersey were you?
We was in Jersey City.
Okay.
So that's interesting because it's the place I came back from
Mm-hmm.
my other journeys as well. But we came back to Jersey City, and as we're there, like we were still watching videos, watching the stuff that he put out, watching it. Like I was the main one who was just like, at that point I became very much obsessed with like the knowledge, and it's to like just be on it every single day, make videos, study. I was on that shit like every
you were
day.
making videos now.
Yeah, I was
not
making
not
videos.
for Nature Boy at this point.
At that point, it was just for me.
Just for you.
But I was using the knowledge that he used, but I was just be
retwisting it and respinning it.
Basically.
Were you just on
Religion
Instagram,
again.
or were you on TikTok too?
I was on Instagram. TikTok wasn't the thing.
Wasn't a
back then.
thing yet. Okay.
Yeah, I was on Instagram, and yeah, just straight Instagram. Even if it's still up there, like a lot of stuff. I deleted some of the stuff, but it's still there. But at that point, that's when I decided like we still want to go to the tropics. This is when, what year was it? 2020, when they were saying that the world was gonna end. December 21st, 2020, or was it 2022?
So did you guys actually believe it was gonna end, and that was
Yes.
the reason for all of this?
Yes, and then that's when because I was very much like, that became so real to me that I'm like, we gotta go.
What do you think about that?
And I felt it was so real that I was able to convince everyone around me that it was real. Like I was a very influenceable person to my sister. She knew, but she was already kind of on it. My mother, she was like iffing out, but I was just like, it became so real to me. I'm like, yo, we gotta go. It don't matter. And then my mother, she ended up getting unemployment, so she had some money coming in after everything happened. After we lost everything, my mother, she came across unemployment. We was getting like $500 a week and stuff like that. No one was working because the knowledge was like, don't work a 9-to-5 job. It's taking away your souls. It was like, no one was working.
But I thought your mom was an entrepreneur.
She was. She quit her business and everything. That was the whole thing. She dropped the whole business. And at that time too, she was very, very stressed out. So that was another reason why she like really wanted to do it, because she was very stressed out, very, very stressed out, because she was working here. She was the only one doing it by herself for a very long time, and she was making a living. But her fee used to hurt. She used to be stressed out. I used to see her just come home and just like lay down on the couch and just be very tired and be very irritated. So I could see why this was like something that she wanted to do. So this is the time where there was no 9-to-5 job. I was just straight unemployment. We were just like crashing at people's houses. I mean, crashing at the guy house for that time. And then this is when like I was on Instagram and I had followers and I had met some people online. And then I created a group chat, and the group chat was called Tribe of Light. So I basically had my sister, my mother. They didn't join a group chat yet, but I started a group chat with people I met online. I started a group chat, and then there was just me and this other guy named Junive Jami, and he was on some spiritual confusion shit as well. But we started it, and we was like kind of leaders. Like I started, but he was like also a leader. But I was like the one who initiated everything, basically. And this was the time where it was like everyone was trying to find out what God there was in the past life. So
wait. You were trying to find out what God you were in the past life?
Yeah.
But I thought you're God now.
Yeah.
So what was the logic behind trying to find what God you were in the past life?
It was just like, I don't know. We was still God then, but we was like God back then. We were just trying to figure out who we was. Because that's when like everyone was like into like Egyptian gods, and like everyone wants to be Kemetic at that time.
You know, it's interesting.
So we was meshing everything together.
So it's kind of interesting because the ancestral father we know as Wisser, right? And most people know him as Osiris or Osar, whatever. He's the god that even gave way to what we would call reincarnation, because the history and the origins of cycles is coming from him. So again, this is what I mean by like religion and spirituality can be very different, and spirituality can be like very fragile, because somebody can take something like spiritual as the cycles of nature, the reincarnation of Wisser, the ancestral god or the ancestral father, and then take it and then apply it and use it in a concept such as that. But then using it in that concept and then misleading people because it's coming away from the original sense or the original principle of what it is. And now you have a group of people who are taking it and making it into something new, but then making it seem as if it's original. So essentially, like what you're saying is that, do you see like that's all it was? Yeah. Like this new age kind of movement, or the way you were going about spirituality before, you were trying to make things that don't belong to you, or things that might be true in a natural sense but has been retwisted, and then you're retwisting it yourself, and is now trying to make it something new.
Yeah, and the main issue was just like we was our own masters. It was like we master teachers. We was our own masters. There was no that we had to abide by except nature. Nature doesn't really like. Nature has its own way of like doing things, but nature doesn't like sit down and have a conversation with you. I mean,
So then how does the information come from nature?
It honestly just started coming from the mind. Like, honestly, like, the way my mind was functioning back then, I used to watch a lot of different videos, and all those different videos, I used to put them in my own way, in my own mind, and I used to understand it in the way that I wanted to understand, and I'll speak about it. And I'll speak about it, and I'll claim it as my own energy.
Isn't that like 99% of what's happening on social media?
Oh yeah, and a lot of people won't admit that. A lot of people won't admit that. But now, boom. So then we got the Charbolite.
So this is now your tribe, like.
This is now my.
So this is when you're.
Chat.
This is my group chat.
Like beyond the group chat though. So the group chat is how it started, and then you actually got these people to like move into an actual space.
Wait, whoa! Don't skip ahead. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
The horse.
No, that's a saying, bro.
Yeah, I know. But basically, I started a group chat, and I was like, we should be up all night, like just talking this like, we trying to figure out which God it was. Niggas was not sleeping, we was smoking a lot too. It was just like, like, what God are we trying to figure out? Like, we would like put pictures between people's head and like, oh my God, you look like Akhenaten or whatever. and then me, I'm just like, I didn't actually know who Osiris was, but I was not sleeping for days and days and days and days and days. I started like getting delusional, honestly. I started hallucinating stuff. I started like bugging out. I was not sleeping. And I basically woke up one day, I'm just like, I'm Osiris. And then I just woke up, I'm like, you know what? I'm Osiris. I changed my name to Osiris, and that was it. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, Osiris is actually a god. Then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I saw his green. Then I said I saw a green birthmark on my back, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm Osiris. Then I was like, then that was my name. That was what it is.
That's all it took. The green birthmark.
Green birthmark.
That's
I'm
all
like,
it took.
I'm Osiris.
Tripping, bro.
And then, boom. So, I started to hallucinate, and I wasn't sleeping for days.
Was it the weed? Were you on mushrooms too?
That was on mushrooms. I didn't take mushrooms back then. Just weed.
Where'd you get your weed from?
The Rasta man. He used to actually have organic. He used to have the seeded weed. That was when
Seeded
he was
weed.
but I was
You
not
got
sleeping.
seeds in
It's
your
probably my
weed.
uncle.
But I was not sleeping back
Definitely.
then. I was up for days and I was smoking too, so I was hallucinating. So it got to the point where
Is everything okay?
it got to the point where
Don't worry. It's okay.
okay, this is where things get sensitive.
Okay.
All right.
We need like a.
I need to step back into the
We need,
story
like,
a little
some,
bit.
uh,
All right, I'm gonna
dramatic
step back
music.
into the story a little bit. I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it.
Just keep the mic
In a
close to you.
respectful way, I'm gonna speak about what happened. So after everyone got arrested and stuff like that, this girl named Velvet,
He's going there. Go there. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go there. So respectfully, still respect this person no matter all that shit having. Still have respect for this person, but we gotta speak about it for my own growth. So now this girl Velvet, she was good. We going back to Hawaii. Now I'm back in Hawaii.
Wait, did you guys? Did you guys
started your cult in Hawaii?
No, I started. Sorry, I didn't mean to
don't
confuse
skip
it.
ahead, don't skip
No,
ahead.
I'm actually going backwards.
Are you going backwards?
Yeah, so remember I said like I wasn't sleeping. I started a tribe and I was smoking. I was
Osiris.
hallucinated. So now I was seeing this girl Velvet in my mind. She was telling me certain things. Nature Boy, he was telling. They was both in my mind telling me certain things, and I was sleep. I was like basically in the dream world and the real world at the same time. So now let's backtrack back into Hawaii. So after everyone got arrested, Velvet, she was there.
Okay.
She wasn't there the whole time, but she came. She was there. She was. That's when she was with Nature Boy, and she was trying to like get with.
With Nature Boy, meaning like that's his wife.
That was his wife at that time.
Okay.
So when she came, mind you, this girl, like when I first like started watching Nature Boy and stuff like that, this girl like I used to like really watch her. Like, I was really like I developed like a crush for this woman, and then I met her, and I was just like wow. Of course, he was in Nature Boy. Like I was just like very just talking this shit, but like I remember just like feeling like this like strong attraction. I had to get up and move. I had to get up and go because I'm like it's not my wife. I had to go.
And
I was like what 17. She was like 22, 23 something.
And you were a virgin at the time,
I was
right?
a virgin,
Okay.
yes. Well, I remember we was talking about the knowledge and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And stuff like that. It was just like it's a girl I've been watching for like
Yeah.
very long time.
You used to
I'll be
beat
here.
off to her.
Yeah. No.
Got him.
No. But yeah. So I met her, and it was just a strong attraction that I felt, and I had to get up and go to the bathroom. I was just like in the bathroom, like yo. What? Then I got up, and then cool. So she ended up getting real close to my mother, my sister, and us. So we ended up getting her number and things like that. So fast forward, now we back in Jersey after all of that. So I had to backtrack because that's a very important part of the story.
Okay.
We back in New Jersey, and like I said, I started a tribe. I was hallucinating. I wasn't going to sleep for days. I was smoking weed. So there was in my mind telling me certain things like she was
The
like
hallucinations.
yeah, and hallucinate like not like seeing her here, but seeing her here. And it felt very real to me. I thought I was having telepathic communication. She was like, yeah, like go here, go there. So I'll just get up and I'll just go. I'll just be up and I'll just walk for a very long time. And then I got lost. So now when I got lost,
Where were you? When you
I was
got
in
lost?
Jersey City.
Okay.
I was just walking, and she told me in my mind, leave your phone. This is my own mind. But she was like, leave your phone. Just walk. You can find me. I'm there. I'm outside. Just keep going. So I was in a very like hallucinated, like very just like infatuated, fantastical part of my mind. I was just like going outside, I was walking, trying
But
to
you
find
weren't
her.
on mushrooms or
No,
LSD
just
or
weed.
anything. It was
I
just
didn't
you.
take no mushrooms, no LSD, nothing before.
But it was no sleep or something?
No sleep, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like some people, like I talked to other people, they said like you don't sleep for a certain amount of time, but you start seeing shit because the dream world and this world started to become merged. So I was living in a different reality than everyone else. I was still dreaming, but I was awake because I did not sleep. And my logic was like, I'm a spirit, I'm energy, I don't need sleep. Okay.
Is that part of the teaching?
No, that was just me. That was just me.
That's Osiris.
Yeah, that was.
But Osiris sleeps. He dies and he reincarnates.
Yeah, but
So why wouldn't you sleep?
Just let him continue.
I was just
son.
like, no sleep.
Okay, so you got lost in Jersey City.
I got lost. I was walking around for a very long time, for hours. I didn't eat nothing. I was hungry. I was starting to get skinny. I was just like, I just wanted my spirit to elevate. I was like, I'm not eating no food today. I'm gonna just go outside. This one was alkaline vegan, eating quinoa every day, chickpeas every day, fruits every day, smoothies, sea moss every day. So that plus not sleeping plus weed, it was just like my mind was just in like la la land. So it got to a point where, like, inevitably I started to like kind of lose my mind. Like I ended up going to a mental hospital. They ended up I was walking around and they ended up finding me and they ended up taking me to a mental hospital, and I was telling them, I was like, yeah, my name is Clearwater. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna figure out who I am. You're never gonna know who I am. I'm Clearwater. So they took me in the mental hospital. I was there. Yeah, I was in the mental hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. And at the time in my mind I was saying like, yeah, like in my mind I was like, yeah, Velvet's my wife. I was telling people around, like, yeah, she's my wife, and I'm seeing it in my mind. And I was living so much shit that became a reality within my mind. So then,
did you eat there?
Did I eat? Oh, at the hospital?
They're trying to feed me non-organic food.
I was actually saying that.
Yeah,
but then I ended up eating it.
Don't get.
I was wild.
Are you fighting with them?
I was fighting with them. They had to pin me down and put the needle in my eyes. Yeah. They put the needle in my eyes.
Yo, did they put you in a jacket?
Nah, they
were you in one of those
jacket.
soft rooms?
I wasn't too deep into like the crazy house.
Gotcha.
I was in like first level shit. It was like people run away from home and shit like that. It was those type of people was there. It wasn't like crazy people. They almost did take me to the crazy people. So then I'm there. And I was still in contact with the tribe. I was still the tribe leader. I was still the crazy house, but people still like believed in me so much. I was like, oh yeah, he just spiritual. Like they don't understand him. They just take us to the crazy house. He's still God. So I was still the leader. I still contacted them. And
the leader of the group chat.
The leader of the group chat. Yeah.
He was making videos online, so he was like a online persona.
Yeah. Basically.
Gotcha.
Basically. So then eventually I get out. And then we started the moves. They actually, I was like guided. It was like we was in contact, so they all went to Florida to meet up with the other guy who was in Florida. So everyone met up. My mother, she picked up this guy. He was younger. This one chick, yeah, he was younger. So he got picked up. He was younger than me.
Keep it close.
Yeah. He got picked up. So
no, keep the mic close.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. He got
the
picked
people
up.
want to hear you.
Yeah, so he got picked up, right? And they all traveled to Florida. My mother, she got a rental car, and then everyone traveled. Before they traveled, actually, some people was already in Florida, and then my mother and them, they waited on me and my sister and the guy. So I had a girl at the time. Her name was Liz. And we was like online, and that's when we developed a relationship. And she basically went to Florida before me, and she was in Florida with the guy John Me, and they was waiting on us. And now I got out the mental hospital, and we drive to Florida. So now when we get to Florida, I was still very much like in a different reality. It even got to the point where my mother told me, like, she was like, it was as if like you was possessed, like you was not you at a certain point. My face started to look different. Things I was doing, I was not remembering. Like I was like, it was to a point where like I would just be on like the bed and I'll just jump down, just throw myself on the floor, boom. And I still don't even remember doing that. But she said that's what I was doing, and I was just saying like crazy shit. Like I was just saying like, yeah, I'm Osiris, I'm God, I'm the God of the underworld. I was like I'm the God, I'm the devil, I'm everything. I was saying like, I was like, niggas is reptilians. I was so much in a state where it's like I'll look at someone for so long, then their face started to morph, and then I was just like convicting. Like I was just like, my voice got very, very deep and dark, and I was just like trying to speak demons out of people. My mother, I was just like wilding out. Like I was wilding out.
And this was like what you thought you were perceiving?
Yeah, that's what I thought I was perceiving.
How many people were in Florida with you guys?
Only like 6.
6. And
So
your mother
me,
was
my
there?
girl, my mother, my sister, Jami, and the other guy. And yeah, so
What was
only
like
6
the
of us.
day to day like?
The day to day. So when we got to Florida,
So wait,
the first
real
day.
quick. In Florida, this is like the beginning of your
Yeah, the journey
group.
to to the group. Yeah, it was the beginning of the group. The group first, it was a group, and then eventually became a tribe. But we called it tribe, but it was not organized yet. But we had leaders. It was just very unorganized. Just group of kids with my mother, and my mother, she was funding everything, the Airbnb, you know, the car, and shit
Shout
like
out
that.
to mom.
Yo, she held
like,
everything down.
That's kind of crazy.
So
Yeah,
how
she's
many at the height of this tribe? How many people were there?
I would say about like 12 people.
12. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were the leader of these 12 people.
Yeah, eventually they had. That was when we was in Puerto Rico, when it was like about 12 of us, and it was like we had a house. Then it was like different rooms everyone rented, and there was different families. Like it was some like relationships together. Like it was like almost like 4 relationships at one time. There was some people, and like people had their kids. It was a lot of older people. I was the youngest person except my sister, and they had to get to the point where they had to elect, like we had to elect a leader. Because this is far into the story.
Wait, did you make them stand in a line when you walked into a room?
No, I wasn't doing none of that. I wasn't doing none of that. No. My whole idea of like starting a tribe was like I want to do things differently than where I came from with Nature Boy. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be more free, be more, let's just go out and do it. So now we in Florida. So
it almost sounds like the Greeks, right? It's like the time when the Greeks first came into like our ancestral lands in Kemet, right, in E28, and they got initiated, and they themselves learned like certain spiritual principles from our ancestors, and then our ancestors were like, this is what it is. And so then they took it and they were like, well, I'm coming from this place, and this is kind of like the perspective I have, and I don't want to necessarily go by that. So they took what they learned from our ancestors and they brought it back to their lands, and then they started kicking it to other people in all these different kind of ways. And then before we know it, like whatever they learned here in our ancestral lands becomes something different whenever they go over to Greece. And then from there, they teach it to other people over there, and then other people take it, and then it becomes something completely different, and then something completely different again. And then before you know it, we have religion. And then now it's almost like that same kind of concept. It's like things just keep getting more and more and more degenerated, which is, so I'm just basically saying, you're on some Greeky shit.
I was even the source of what I was doing. That guy in Nature, he was Greek shit too. Like a lot of stuff he was saying, you could go on different videos and hear someone saying the same exact thing, but he never admitted that though. But so now, day to day on Florida, the first day we came, I was a virgin.
You didn't leave a virgin, did you?
I did not leave a virgin that day. In the private room, yeah, I ended up getting it in. But
okay.
So the first day we started like, he was like, we're just gonna start fighting, like, we just started like slap boxing, and like.
This is when you got to Puerto Rico.
Nah, this was in Florida. Sorry.
Okay.
Puerto Rico's Florida. We was
Still
in Florida. But we about to jump into Florida because there's a lot.
Where in Florida were you?
We was in I forgot. It wasn't a main. What is that place? I don't even remember. But there's a lot of
Crocodiles?
Caucasian people.
Caucasian.
Okay.
Respectfully, yeah, it was.
You were in Fort Lauderdale or something?
Nah, not Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale was a bunch of Jamaicans.
Forgot.
True?
I
Yeah.
forgot.
Orlando, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, now we go fast forward. So everyone wants to go to Puerto Rico, and a lot of different people. Actually, it was 7 people. A lot of different people. We had kicked them out.
But wait, I'm still trying to get the day to day. So, what were you guys doing?
Well, that starts when he gets to Puerto Rico.
Oh, there was stuff happening in Florida too.
Yeah,
the
but
day to day was just.
Was anybody working or anything?
Nobody was working.
Everyone was just getting smacked.
Yeah, it was just getting high. It was just it was on unemployment.
Everyone's
getting
okay.
high. We would go to the beach.
This was during COVID?
Yeah, this was during COVID.
But Florida
this
was great.
Before December. This was in like, I don't remember the exact month, but it was 2022.
Yeah.
No, not 2022. I don't remember. Time feel like.
So you guys were just like kind of like a commune.
Yeah, we were just coming together. We would just
Coming
smoke. We
together.
would just eat. Like, we would try to get all the healthy foods. We
Yeah.
would bring their herbs, and we would just try to eat, smoke. We would, like, make music. We would be outside. We would go to the beach. Everyone was trying to, like, this is when everyone thought I was getting powers. So certain people would try to just, like, oh, you have a powers, like, I'm moving the wind. So this nigga Johnny, he would, like, walk around and be like this and be like, see, feel the wind moving. We'll go to the waves, and then he would be like, this with the waves, and then the waves that's coming in, he'd be like, see, I moved that.
Damn, you guys
I
were.
bet.
You guys were
All right,
getting-
so, all right, we're going to Puerto Rico.
Hi.
We're going to Puerto Rico. So this is when there was a lot of different people, like about like 12 people. Eventually they had to elect a leader, and they chose me as a leader, and I basically was the leader of the tribe. I'll have everyone. First, I was the most disciplined person, which is why they had me as the leader. We would go outside. We would get like fruits. We would try to eat healthy. It was all vegan. I was very strict on that. I was wake up at a certain time. I had a certain daily routine. Me and my girl, and basically I'll have we make videos. Come up with ideas. Make videos. We'll go outside. We'll do qigong. We'll work out. The men will do their thing. The women will do their thing. Boom, and then. Eventually, we just can go to the juiciest part. So, like I said,
We've been waiting for the juiciest part.
so now we go to the juiciest part. So now, I'm with the
Wait,
tribe.
do we get back to Velvet at some
Yeah, that's
point?
where we're going.
That's where he's going.
That's where
Okay,
we're
I was
going
waiting
to.
for that. I was hoping.
It's everything. Like, it's so relevant. Like, everything. What is there so much? So now we get to Velvet. I was live. She joined the live. And she was just like, it was me, my sister, my mother. She was just like, oh my God, you guys are glowing. Oh my God, your energy's so pure. Whoop-de-whoop. She was basically praising us on our live. And this is the first time she joined our live. And I was just, and that's when my head was high too. Like, I had a lot of people supporting me. So my energy was just like high. Like, I was just like, I was lit. Like, I was very lit.
Lit.
Without a foundation, but I was like this energy. I was young. So then she texted me a couple of days later. She was just like, I see a light within you. Like, I see this energy within you. And then I started texting her. I started telling her like how I had attraction towards her. And that's when she told me like she wasn't with Nature Boy and stuff like that. And then I ended up going to New Orleans. I was trying to get my ID, and I went to New Orleans, and I went to go see her basically. And I was gonna take her to Puerto Rico. She was trying to get a restraining order on Nature Boy. She was trying to get a restraining order on Nature Boy, and I went there. So she needed to go to Puerto Rico. I was like, cool, I'm in Puerto Rico, so you come back with me. So I went there, and basically, like, we was in it. Like, I look back at a lot of my messages. Like, I was really out of it. Like, I could really see how spiritual confusion could really like mess up your perception of reality. Like, I was seeing a lot of wild things, but basically, she was also kind of on that same like wild and shit. So. She was saying, we were saying, she was 24, I was like, what, 18, 19? So, I ended up going there. Yeah, we was in a relationship. Yeah.
Oh.
So you were in a relationship with, what's her name?
Velvet.
And this was essentially Nature Boy's wife.
His ex-wife.
His ex-wife.
Yeah.
Still his wife, because they have children together, right?
Yeah, they had children. His child was there too as well.
So, can you break that down? How you can go to God's house and then end up sleeping with God's wife? How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't really wear it that way.
Do gods
It just
function that
happened.
way? This is what I mean by some Greek.
I had no
Greeky stuff.
principles. I had no principles. I didn't really care because, like, the way I just felt was like, I desired for this woman for this long. You think I'm about to just pass this up? I was with my girl. I left her for Velvet.
Wow.
I left my girl for Velvet. People warned me about her. I left her, and then I went to Velvet. And then we ended up going to Puerto Rico. And then the first day we was there, everything was calm, cool. She's looking around like, oh wow, I see I got the structure on the board. I got plans, daily plan, woo-doo. And then the next day she ended up leaving me for another guy who was in the tribe.
The next day?
The next day, she told me she pulled me to the side. sat down. She was like, yeah, like she's too toxic, it's too unstable. I'm not really invested in it no more. And it's just like a whole flip because like a couple of days ago she was just like infatuated, like was infatuated, or that's what she was showing me. She was very infatuated with me, stuff like that. But then she started to see my immaturities come out as well. I was still young. She was 24, I was 19. She started to see I was like a youngin', and she just like kept that in her mind, but she didn't really show it until like the last minute. But she always saw like, yeah, this guy is just like young, wildin' and wildin'. So then, yeah.
So you know, the thing is, this is a woman who, obviously, as we've been saying this whole time, whenever you have people who are trying to find something real, right? People who are trying to find like spirituality. Oftentimes, what's missing is the fact that spirituality really is just family. Like the basis of it is family, right? So you essentially found yourself with a lady who is away from even like her family. One, she already ran away from a very young age to be with some guy who's older than her, right? Because she was very young when she was with him, had children with this guy. So you can see already there's maybe some kind of like lack of stability in terms of family. And then now she finds herself with you, with his child, as by the way, right? So again, like a family. So the reason why I'm bringing up family and I'm trying to ask this question is, now, when you were with this lady, did that thought come to your mind at all? Did you think about family? Like, did you think about it like, oh, wow, she's like another man's wife. She's started a family with somebody else. She has a daughter, and she's here with me now. Like, what did you think was the repercussions of that? Because you were speaking a lot of spiritual knowledge, but were you actually thinking about things like that practically, spiritually? Because spiritually, you know what it means to sleep with another man's wife.
Yeah, and honestly, like, all of that went out the window when, like, I thought about, like, yeah, oh, she's not with him no more, so I didn't really care. And in a sense, too, we started, like, I was assisting her in, like, taking him down. Like, she wanted to get a restraining order, and I was, like, there to, like, help her, because I felt bad for her. Like, damn. I used to see, like, that's when we started looking into other stuff. Like, she used to get beat by him. He used to beat her. And then I used to feel real bad, and I used to like try to like. I remember like when I was bugging out stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go save Velvet. Like this was when I was in Jersey when I wasn't sleeping, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go save Velvet. And then all that shit happened, and I just felt really bad for her. So I was just like, help her do what she gotta do. But the principle of like sleeping with another man's wife, I didn't really think about it in that way. I was just like, yeah, she's no longer with him right now. And I was just like, I want to fulfill that desire so bad. It didn't matter what I was doing. So that's what happened with that, But even now I think about it, like it was a wrong thing. His child was there. And then this is where it gets the most juiciest part.
This is the juicy. We haven't even gotten there yet.
It's too much juice. It's too much juice, guys. It's too much juice.
Let's like crush the juice. Let's get to it.
Yeah, get to the main squeeze.
The orange juice now. So she's there. His daughter's there with me. That's when she broke up with me the next day. This guy named Mayat in the tribe, he was with our tribe, but he was kind of like distant, but he was in it, but he was living there. He was kind of feeding off like what we was doing and stuff like that. He was there, and then he called Nature Boy and told, because he was close with Nature Boy. That's when we wasn't fucking with Nature Boy at that time. But someone in the tribe was fucking with Nature Boy. And then
he's what we call a snitch.
Yeah, he was a snitch. He was an op. He called Nature Boy and told him where he was, and then Nature Boy, his wives pulled up on us.
His wives,
yeah, like 3-4 wives. They was all in the car, and then first they came to the door. They was like, "Hey guys, they was like, open the door, let us in. Nature Boy, he's looking for his." I don't know what. It said like he's looking for his child. You guys were there. You know us. Let us in. Then Nature Boy, he ends up coming. Before they all came though. like someone had saw this girl named Dea. She saw Nature Boy. She was like, "Oh shit, it's Nature Boy." We was like, "What?" Run in the house, lock the door. And I'm like, yo, everyone calm. Everyone started bugging out. I'm like, yo, everyone calm down. Close the door. Close the window. Lock the door.
You're
so
so
all the doors locked.
charismatic. I could see you as a cult leader.
Definitely.
So it was calm down.
You guys
calm
just
down.
like hit the thing. You were like mad high, like.
Yeah, I think
Nature
we
Boy.
was high. We was high almost every day. So everything was a movie. So then we locked the door, and he basically put his hand through the, like, we had like these window shields. It was in Puerto Rico, and he put his hand through it, and he tried to like unlock the door, but he couldn't reach it. And then I started recording, because Velvet, she was like, record, make sure y'all record. So now I started recording, and then you just see, there's videos online too. People who probably seen me online have seen these things. Y'all probably already seen it. Hey, your boy, he opened the door, tried to come in. He's like, hey, yo, where's my daughter, bro? He's like, yo, Zay, because he know me, because I was there. He's like, yo, Zay, yo, bro, yo, some G shit on some black man shit. Yo, let me see my daughter, bro. I'm like, yo, bro. Shit not in my hands, because Velvet, she was telling us, like, don't let him in. So we just, like, kind of, like, at that point, we just, like, following, like, Velvet's commands. And then he kept trying to come in, and Velvet, she ended up calling the police. They was telling me to call the police, but I was like, I'm not a police calling person. That's not something that I, like, grew up on. I was not going to call the police. So they ended up calling the police. And then he ended up getting arrested there again, and they took him in. Then he went live, was talking about the situation and stuff like that. But all that's all live. But that's the main juiciest thing of the story.
So I kind of want to jump forward.
Yeah, let's jump.
Now, all of what you went through was, the story is like crazy, like no hands down, it's crazy, right? But even to talk about spirituality, because essentially it's supposed to be your spiritual journey, right? This was supposed to be like the point or the periods that led up to you actually finding yourself back to your ancestral culture, right? Or your ancestors. Now, at some point, you ended up disbanding your tribe, which is just your cult. Let's just be real. And you found yourself somehow on the continent of Africa. And on the continent of Africa, once you found yourself there, I believe you went to Tanzania. And in going to Tanzania, you ended up in, what was it?
I was in Tanzania. I went to Uganda to meet with my family. Then I went back to Tanzania, and I went to the village.
Okay, so you spent some time in a traditional village.
Yeah.
And I know when people go to Africa most of the time, or what we call Merita, people tend to do the touristy thing. Some people go on tours to like see like old slave castles. Some people just go to beaches. Some people are going to the Congo. So, people are doing things like the fun things. But you actually took the time to live in like a village for some time, right? Yeah. And with all your previous experiences of you being a cult leader and you like basically going through spiritual confusion and just finding yourself as like a paper bag in the world of spiritual nonsense and spiritual vomit, what was that experience like actually living in the village?
So now this is where this ties into this whole, what you see we're standing on, the Kemetic culture and all of that. So while I'm in Africa, I'm in Tanzania, being in a village, this was after I went to see my family Uganda. We ended up arguing and a whole bunch of stuff. It got crazy. So basically we went to the village because the guy that who was escorting us to Uganda, he had escorted me, and it was another girl I was with at the time.
You're just knocking him down.
I was only in 4 relationships in my life. But
that's more than some.
So yeah, we went to Uganda, and then the guy his name was Freddie. He was I didn't know he was like spiritual on that level, but he never showed himself. Never.
Most
ever.
people who know never really do.
Never.
Truly spiritual people don't know,
Never
don't show
would've
themselves.
So then we get to Uganda, and my sister, she's with this guy. I ain't gonna say his name because he's still my brother-in-law technically right now.
Mm-hmm.
Still have that respect for him. But he basically was telling him like, because that guy, he also like presented himself like, in Africa, there's a lot of spirits that's moved. That's a lot like is accessing like certain entities and spirit. It's very easy to do it. So this guy, he basically had access to like a lot of different things, and he would just sit there, just like say certain things. It was just a lot, it was just a lot. Like,
In other words, that's when you noticed this spiritual shit got real.
that's when I started to see spiritual shit for real. So then the guy who was with us, he didn't know that this guy Puma, oh fuck, I said it. He didn't know the guy like had certain things with him, but he said like, yeah, he just looked at him one day, it was just like, you're not doing good with the power that you have. You're not doing good. You need to go back to your family. You need to go to Tanzania and do spiritual work. Because his father was also a priest. The guy that I'm talking about, the guy that my sister is currently with, but who's still in Africa, his father's a priest. So Freddie, he knows that. I mean, they talked before. They know that he's from Tanzania. Freddie's from Tanzania. So Freddie was going to take him to Tanzania and then to do spiritual work, basically. So now this is when we all argued, and then now we on the way to Tanzania. So it was only me. We all tried to go, but they ended up going back. My mother, my sister, and the guy. So it was only me, my girl at the time, and Freddie. So we went to the village to do spiritual work, basically. And his uncle, Freddie's uncle, was a priest. So we went into the village, and as we was going to, it took a very long time to get to the village. To get to any different country, Africa, it took a long time, days to get to the village. Like from train to bus, took a very long time. So now we in Tanzania, Tabora town. We get to the village. They drop us off in the village. First it's nighttime, and then we wake up. The next day we meet everybody. You just see a lot of different traditional people. Like we're in a bush, like we're in the middle of nowhere. To get to town, it takes like an hour. To get to the small town that's in like this, it's like a huge desert almost. And we get to the small town, we get only a little bit of groceries. You don't get access to like Wi-Fi and things like that. You have to go even farther, which takes like almost 2 to 3 hours to get to the main town. So where we're really in the village. So we get there, they're feeding us fufu. They're feeding us
Good stuff.
good stuff, yes, fufu, beans, mangoes, stuff that literally they grown from that farmland. Their whole life is sustaining the farm to feed their family. So they will just feed us that every day.
Which is different from your experience with Nature Boy and even your experience
Yes.
running your own cult.
Yes, and that's when I started to see things get real, because I'm like, oh, wow. Like, the woman, they'll come, they'll bring the waters on their head. The men, they'll be out working and stuff like that. So Freddie, he was already African man, so he will have me go out. Because I was having money coming through an online source, through, like, trading and stuff like that. It was coming in every week. So I was the one who had that money, and him and his family was also there. His wife, they ended up coming. So we would take long trips to go to get food like almost every day in a hot sun, 2-3 hours sometimes. We out in the morning, we get back home at nighttime, so tired at sometimes. But that's when I started to like really get into that principle of he was almost like a father figure to me. Like I started to step a little bit into my manhood in that time, because I had to provide for my family. Like literally the survival of like everyone around me depended on like us, because we had to get Wi-Fi sometimes. Because we had to buy Wi-Fi. But like I said, the whole community, they would feed all of us. They would get food from the farms. They would bring it for us. You'll see the men, the little boys, like almost like 12. They'll be running cattle. They'll be on the what's that thing, wagon. Freaking just keeping the cattle like going, and they would like it's like a whole team unit. And then there's the priest. Now the priest, he's the owner of the land, And then you have the men, they'll go, even the young boys, they'll cook fire, they'll have the fires lit, they'll make food. And the woman, they'll cook in the, like this little kitchen area.
Did you get to make any fires?
I kind of helped, but I didn't.
You-
I still don't know how to make a fire.
You
My
just put the
girl
stick.
knew how to make a fire.
You just put a stick.
I just put the stick. I didn't know how to make a fire, unfortunately. But eventually, we got to meet the uncle, and he was the priest.
Mhm.
So now the priest, he basically is very spiritual, and he had this way of doing readings.
We say
And-
priest, we mean like shaman, right?
I don't know what a shaman is.
That's what people in the modern sense would recognize it as, like a shaman.
Oh, well, shaman, yeah. So he basically, he would do readings for like a lot of different people in the village, and even like the village outside of that small community, people come to him to get readings. So he would do readings with like shells. You'll see cowrie shells, you'll see different shells, you'll see different things. He would shake it up, flip it over, and then he'll say certain things. And he'll open it up, and then he'll see certain things, and then he'll tell the person. First, you give $1. You spit out $1. Like it's like literally like $1 in American money. You spit on $1, then you give it to him. Then he puts it down. He starts speaking to her. He starts speaking to the beads. And he'll shake things up, and he'll put it down. So the guy that I was with, Freddie, he never told the uncle like anything about what was going on, like in our family and stuff, because we was also with Freddie. The uncle, you can't really reach him through the phone, but Freddie, like that's his family, so he could just go whenever. So now we're at the uncle, we're in this hut, and then we finally get in, and Freddie tells him like, yeah, like they want to get spiritual work, and they want to get reading. So then he does his thing. We give him the money, and he basically says that first there's a man within the family that is trying to break up the family. And this was after all that things happened with in Uganda. This is when we split apart and all that stuff. And he said like there's a lot of family issues going on in your family. Like, you feel it heavily. So then he had to recommend us like he had to do works for us. And first it started off with spiritual baths. They'll get a lot of different herbs, and they'll give it to us in a calabash, a huge calabash, and we'll go into the bush and we'll wash ourselves every single day, and you have to leave the herbs on you, and you have to let it dry off. You don't dry off your skin, you let it just sit on you, and you let the sun dry it off. And we'll do this every day, and then at nighttime he'll have herbs in a pot, boil the herbs, and then they'll have us like with a blanket and cover over us, like essentially to like wash off negativity. So we sweat it all out. We sweat it out. And he ended up doing different things. And Freddie told us that the things that he did, he actually saw them in a dream, and then he directed us to do the things. So then after, like on the last couple of days, we got protection, and the protection required us, he had to get a blade and cut our skin. And you'll see other people come do it, like other people in the village. You'll see them getting that work done. And then they was just preparing us like, yeah, you guys are going to be next. And then we will get the cuts. I got cuts. Then he had a paste with herbs. And you put it in the cuts. It burned, but not that much. So that was for protection. And he also told us that when we go back to the States, we're going to come like the ways for getting finances are going to be open. When I first came to America, like this was the most amount of money that I made in one time by myself. Like I worked and I had jobs. I never worked a job before until when I first came back when Jersey City. Plant-based was my first job.
Before you get there, right?
This is your first job?
Yes.
By the way, we're about to come to the point where Ezekiel and I meet. Dum dum dum. Coming soon.
That's funny, right?
Yeah.
But before we get there, right? Now, the reason why I really wanted you to come and tell your story was because you're the perfect example of somebody who's actually been through the mud. Like, you've been through the dirt. Because when we talk about spirituality, like, spirituality has become this thing where it's like anything goes. Anyone can make anything up. Anyone can just create a group. Anyone can just create their own kind of philosophy, and it's not really coming from anywhere. Now, you can clearly see that you thought you had arrived. You even called yourself a god. You even called yourself their ancestral father, which is crazy.
Osiris.
Right? But you came from a place of just destruction and chaos and mental illness, all this kind of stuff, and now you was going all over the world. You was going everywhere trying to find yourself, trying to be the boss, trying to be the guy. But finally, you ended up going back to the place you probably never thought you'd go back to.
Yeah, never thought I would be back here.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah,
you
I never thought I'd be
go to
back
Africa,
here, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to that place and doing the things that stand on actual principles, like what your ancestors were actually doing before colonialism, before all this new age, before religion, before all of these things out there. And you can clearly see the difference. Like you just said it. Before, when you were out there, you guys weren't growing your own food. But now you go to Merita, you see actual traditions, you see real spirituality for what it is, and you see people growing food. You see people going to go fetch food. You see people walking and going through the hot, hot sun to go get water. You see those kind of things, and you see how those things breed value in people. But when you were out there just doing what you were doing, getting Airbnbs, what value did you have in that?
Nothing, honestly. Like, it didn't feel like I had any substance to me until like that experience. I feel like I started to like, I had to really like. That's when life started to hit me. I also got very sick in Africa. I got malaria. I got sick and almost died. And that's another reason why I had this fear. But with this, like me being here, like when I first came to the temple, I met E28 first. He told me about it.
Wait. Let's get there.
All right, let's get there.
Ezekiel was working at Plant Base.
Yeah, first job.
In New Jersey.
And this is right after he came from Africa, right?
Right after I came back from Africa, yeah,
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I've learned so much about you today. But, you know, I think it's really interesting even that you and I are on the podcast together today, because I had no idea this was going to happen. So I'm surprised. But we were at Plant Base. The Earth Center was vending at Plant Base. And I was standing behind the table. And Ezekiel was one of the chefs there. And he kind of, you know, perused on over and, you know, started asking me questions, and we were talking about stuff. But through the dialogue that we had, he ended up becoming an initiate. So it's really interesting that where his story comes from. And now, because I've been thinking about it now, and I wanted to ask you, Ezekiel, like, what about the Earth Center was different for you?
The difference is that there was actually things that I saw being done here. Like, for example, you have the cuts on your head. I've seen that be done in Africa. You guys did the spiritual baths. I've seen that be done in Africa. The community and stuff like that. Like, people talk about hieroglyphs in Africa. People talk about, they know certain things. Another thing, they told us about the upside down map in Africa. So when I came here and I'm seeing these things, I'm like, this is rooted in, I literally just saw these things.
Right here.
I literally just saw them. So that's when I was like, yo, this is real. I know it's not made up, because I literally just went there and I saw it be done.
I guess more than anything, what I was hoping for was like, what do you notice particularly about the way that the Earth Center is structured? And even the Earth Center is like a business entity in itself. It has to be for, you know, logistical reasons. But really, the Earth Center is an extension of the traditions back home. So really, how do you see that structure compared to the way that we have kind of created this salad bowl approach to this new age, whatever you want to call, hodgepodge that you were a part of.
So what the big difference that I saw, and one of the things that I actually like saw that I really want to like go forward is like how long this has been going on for. That's the main difference. Like New Age spirituality, someone just wake up one day and just start saying a whole bunch of things. But this has been something for a very long time. Even the Earth Center itself, like, has been something. How long has the Earth Center, like, in Manu in America?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Mid 90s.
It's mid 90s. So I seen like the longevity. So I knew it had to have some type of substance. So if people were still going for this amount of time and it's still standing, that's how I knew it was something that was real. And based on the structure, like, it's very organized here. Like, everything is very, very organized. It's very militant to a way where things can last for a long time.
But we don't make you stand in a line.
Yeah,
right.
that don't happen.
Don't.
Sorry, guys. This is not like that. But I just saw like it had substance to it, has weight to it. It's something I saw in real life, and that's what really like sparked me to like really go myself, because I seen it myself, and I just came from Africa. So I was like, oh, you guys are telling me about African like spirituality and class and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm interested. I just came from Africa. Cool. But that's the main thing.
Yeah, but what is it about the structure in particular that
The master teacher here is in a bloodline, and that bloodline, Nebnaba Lemusa the Nebnaba Lemusa, they're more than a big.
More.
No,
Nebnaba Lemusa, more than a big.
Nebnaba Lemusa, they're more than a big.
It's
keep going.
just keep going.
Yeah, yeah. He's in a bloodline, and the main thing that I always remember is like, this man has went to like over like 100 different countries in Africa, and as different spiritual masters, like, he wasn't the source of, like, he's not just woke up one day and just like, yeah, I'm a spiritual master. He went to many different countries and asked permission from different elders within the temples in Africa that held the Kemetic culture for a very long time. And he asked these different people, like, basically went to the feet of the master and asked for permission to bring it back to the West, because we didn't have this type of knowledge. And he learned different languages to be able to convey it to us, and he brought it back to the West. So it's not something like you will see. Like, I'm starting to notice this pattern, like things that like start off with like you yourself, like you just wake up one day, you just try to be like innovative and creative. Them shits don't really last that long. This has been something that has been for a very long time. Kemetic culture has been for over thousands of years, and it has been passed down through bloodlines, through temples, and now is brought to us by a master who's now came to the West to be able to teach us. So that's the main big difference, is that, and this is something I learned here, is that any teacher who's their ask that person who's their master, what's their bloodline, where did they learn that information from? And that's not something that I didn't consciously know. It was not something that mattered to me. But now I see like how much substance comes in information that has stemmed from people before you. I probably said that a confusing way, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, the most important thing is that this knowledge didn't come from us, but it also didn't come from like thin air either. You know, it came from it was carried from a bloodline. It's not something that you read in a book necessarily. Yes, we have the Philosophy Podium. Shout out to the Philosophy Podium, 3rd edition. But at the end of the day, like, it's an oral history. It's an oral tradition. You know, the things that you're, you know, if you end up teaching this knowledge, you're really teaching from a tradition that's passed on from generation to generation. If you go to the village, you can see that tradition being passed on under a tree where the elders speak to the children. You know.
Yeah. So, and that's exactly why I wanted you here, because even like Mary Carver said, it's almost like you got cleaned. And because you got cleaned, in the continent, in Merita, in traditional society, is what even gave you the ability to be able to find something to continue to clean yourself. It's what gave you the ability to find your way back to your ancestors. Because when we're out there searching for something, like, the problem is this: society, Babylon, has taken away our identity. Babylon society has taken away our culture. Because we lost our culture, we lost our identity. But what people are looking for when they're going out there joining these so-called cults or joining all these organizations of people who are just making up their own thing, coming up with things out of thin air, what they're really looking for is themselves. And to find yourselves, you have to find your ancestors. And your entire journey was about you finding your ancestors, and that's why you're here today. Learning to reclaim your culture, learning to reclaim yourself, because it's about reclaiming and understanding the blood that flows through your veins and understanding the principles that bind you to nature and the realities and the principalities of existence. And that's what it's really about. So no, spirituality is not some made-up habla hoobla. Spirituality is not about what you feel. Spirituality is not about how intelligent you can sound. Spirituality is about reality. And spirituality is about family. And that's what this is. Everything that you see, especially coming like the calendar, that's not coming from somebody's imagination. This is a reality. Nature moves. The planets move. There's rhythms and there's cycles. And that's all this is. And my brother here, he was on a certain rhythm. He was living through a certain kind of cycle. And he went, got himself cleaned, and now he's living on a different rhythm. I think they call that vibrations in this new age sense, right? But that's not what we're here for. We're here to be real, and we're here to actually live, and we're here to actually uphold something and stand on a real culture.
Facts.
Had to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate you. This is the one time you can reach over.
The one time.
Facts.
So with that being
My
said,
hand might get cut.
we're going to get straight into rapid fire.
Let's go.
Ujai from behind the camera.
Ujai.
So, first up, we got Israel. Israel has shut down all foreign news network coverage of what's going on in Gaza. So right now they pretty much have like full autonomy over the story of what's going on in Israel.
Well, that's interesting because from my understanding, don't the Zionists actually own all of the media companies or media outlets? So essentially they already had control of the situation from day one. Like all the news networks are owned by Zionists. Am I wrong, Ibtuti?
Racist.
It's
But
not racist.
the main one that they
Anti-Semitic.
targeted was Al Jazeera because it's like Qatar. That's the person that founded Al Jazeera is from Qatar, and that's the place where I believe they have some kind of Palestinian connection. Or
Yeah,
something.
the thing is about Jews. I'm a Jew, so I preface this.
We know.
I preface this by saying that and say that the only people that can talk shit about Jews are Jews. So if you really want the lowdown on a Jew, you ask a Jew. So yeah, we own everything. I mean, that's just how it goes. And that's the thing about power is anything that stands in the way of power, anybody trying to talk shit or whatever, that power is always met with a force. So when you have somebody that's trying to like speak against you or say that, oh, you know, you guys control this, you do that, they will stifle you. They will make sure you don't go very far. Right? So the situation in Palestine is really interesting because you have a group of people, you have the Jewish people, you have a group of people that were once oppressed. Throughout history, you know, they were oppressed. Spanish Inquisition. They would say they were oppressed in Egypt. That's
Highly debatable.
Debatable. You know, there's the Holocaust, all of those things. And then they were given the state of Israel after the Holocaust. It was kind of like
More like taken.
Right. It was kind of the world's way of saying, like, you know, we're sorry or something like that, you know. So they got the state of Israel, and now what you see is that the oppressor or the oppressed has become the oppressor. So the Jews were once oppressed, and now they've become the oppressor. And the Palestinian people, now there are 4 generations of Palestinians that have grown up in this oppression. So it's like kind of like a piranha. If you have a piranha and that piranha is in fresh water, that piranha won't be crazy, won't attack you, you know. But once you start to get rid of that water slowly and take it away, and then suddenly that piranha is in a puddle, barely breathing, that piranha becomes vicious. And that's what we know about piranhas, right? They're like vicious. They'll attack you. Like, don't put your hand in like a thing of piranhas. But that's what happens to people ultimately. So what we see is people that have basically been stripped of all of their resources, of all of their dignity, of all of their humanity, and then they act out. They kill people, they behead children. None of those things that we think is okay. None of that is okay. But those things are happening. And in return, what you have in the news is that these people, and only these people, no other group of people in the world, are terrorists. That these people are terrorists, they're committing acts of terror. Not, how did this happen? How did we get here? Like, why is it that people go to the furthest extent violently